You really can't forget about the cha-ching these days, because in this morning's Money Watch, tapping into your 401k, it's a tough economy. A lot of people are scrambling for cash, and HR professionals say that the number of workers dipping into their employee-sponsored retirement savings plans is skyrocketing.
And if you are thinking of doing it, beware. CBS News financial contributor and author of The Real Cost of Living, Carmen Wong Ulrich, is some of the real pitfalls she'll be talking about this morning. Good morning.
Good morning.
Hey, Carmen. Good morning. So, I mean, this is a question that a lot of people are trying to figure out right now. To ever dip into their 401k, there's a lot of risk. When do you think it's appropriate? Is it ever appropriate?
Can I say never? But I can't say that. Here's what I wish, and I hope that that was the case. But here's the thing. If the IRS even protects your 401k in bankruptcy court, even in bankruptcy, you don't have to give up your 401k. That shows you just how important and vital it is to your planning and to your financial future. Remember, this is not an asset just like the cash that you have in the bank. This is something that's a long-term commitment that you're making. So I really advise folks to not dip in there, because if you do, before the age of 59 and a half, you know that you're going to lose up to 50% in penalties, fees, and taxes. It's not worthwhile. So if you're going to do it, however, you want to make sure that you do it the right way and for the right reasons.
Even with that backdrop, we know this is a very challenging economy that we're in right now, but some will say, hey, it's a hardship situation for me. What qualifies as a hardship case?
Well, that's the thing. You want to file for what's called a hardship withdrawal, and this allows you to basically have access to that money if you qualify for much less in terms of penalties and fees. It'll just be taxed as income. You'll lose about 10% in penalties, but here's what you need to qualify. Some of it is medical expenses. Of course, medical debt is a big concern for a lot of Americans. Also, to prevent the foreclosure on your home, or if there's a lot of damage, for example, with weather damage, natural disaster damage, and this allows you to take some of that money out and keep a little bit more than you would if you had to cash out the whole thing.
And clearly the aim is this is a nest egg for retirement, but what are the pros and cons if you do dip in?
Well, that's the thing. If you do dip in, you're going to lose about half the money, so you want to make sure it's a hardship withdrawal. But there are many other alternatives to actually having some of this money. I would rather you use a balance transfer check or borrow on a private loan, especially if you have no debt, then go into your 401k. Because in the end, you're going to pay less in interest. Let's say you take out a 401k loan. I get asked this all the time. Oh, but the interest is so low. This is not just an interest play. This is all about what happens if you lose your job, because the job market's still shaky. If you lose that job, you will have to pay that loan back in 30 to 60 days. And I've seen this happen. Guess what happens? You don't have a job. Where are you going to get that loan? How much is the new loan going to cost you? 19 to 29%.
And that's where the heavy risk is. I want to talk to you about the balance transfer check, because there are probably people, even this morning, given the tornadoes, who are looking at their 401k as something they might need to tap.
Well, here's the thing. We know that there's been a lot more of those balance transfer offers. If you have great credit, I would rather you take $10,000 on a balance transfer at 0% interest for the next 12 months, even if it goes up to 15, than if you possibly lose your job and you're taking out this loan and you're going to end up paying 19 to 29% on getting another loan to make up for that 401k loan, or taking that money out. You're going to be losing 30 to 50% of that money. So really be very, very careful. This is your long-term commitment.
We've got about 20 seconds remaining. Knowing that this is tied to the market, what if your 401k is tanking? More incentive to tap into it then?
It doesn't have to be tied to the market. That's the thing. The 401k is basically a tax tool that lets you put money away tax-free. It's all about where your money goes inside of that 401k. So if you fear the market, you see your 401k tanking, the problem isn't the 401k. It's where your money is invested in, your asset allocation. Sit with your 401k provider, get a session with a financial planner, and they'll give you some advice to assuage those fears, let's say.
Carmen Wong Ulrich, thank you so much.
All right, assuaging our fears.
My wife wants to make sure I was taking plenty of notes on this segment.
All right, good. We can chat after.
All right.